we still streaming?
We have a weak stream.
noticed.
We have a weak stream.
All right, don't worry about it then.
Play ball.
Kind of like Patty's urination. It's a weak stream.
Can the audience hear us? I'll sing
All
the
right.
song.
Make sure you repeat the urination joke then.
Why?
Because they didn't hear you.
Oh, well.
Wasn't a
They
bad
heard,
joke.
They heard us. Yes. We got a little laughter in the audience.
I think the audience can hear us because it just came through my phone.
Did it?
Oh, you just did it. Okay.
All right, now we just can't see our
Hey, thanks for telling us.
handsome faces.
That's all right.
Maybe that's good.
Thanks for telling us they can hear us now. We could have said something.
We're
that
going
we regret.
upstream now.
That's all right.
The music is really good.
Humana,
Our
humana,
intro
humana,
song. You
humana,
heard our
humana.
intro song, right?
Humana, humana,
Having
humana,
A friend of
humana.
mine wrote it.
problems.
A friend of mine.
Stand by.
Oh,
We're
there's
just
the
gonna go out.
preview. They don't see that. They don't see that.
All they see is copy.
Sure you. Sure you, Ryan.
We are having audio problems.
Ryan!
Please stand by.
Thanks.
Play ball. Hey,
Hey, Laughter Saves Lives!
Am I supposed to do it first?
You're supposed to.
Welcome to Laughter Saves Lives Live. I hope you enjoyed our intro music that Ryan kept to himself out there. We are back after a hiatus. Hiatus, did I say that word right?
Hiatus.
Hiatus.
The audience saw shows each.
Well, here they saw shows, but
They
last
think
week
we're
was
real. We're not
no,
real.
they know. They're a smart audience. They're a smart. Last week
Much
we
smarter
showed.
than we are.
Yes, we showed a repeat last
Why are
week.
they watching the show? If
And then we did our 9/11 show, but we taped it the Thursday before.
it was a trick. We did it in advance.
I'm going to thank Benny for combining the shows. The 9/11 show, I think we did a nice job.
That was great working with Benny.
It was. And on 9/11, I'm going to talk about my 2.5 weeks in a nutshell. Go really
go ahead.
quick.
Knock it
Do
out.
you want to highlight?
Knock it
out.
Do you want to highlight the movie or anything that you had
I
going
want
on?
to just
No,
listen
we
to
wanna
you.
hear about your week.
I missed you. I want to listen to
I
you.
live for you, John. Do you want
listen.
to say anything about all the shows you killed
Not
on?
until after you go.
Why?
Because you're the host. It's
All
your-
right,
We want to hear about how you can't pay for your daughter's college again this week. Come on.
I got the bill. There's 18 charges.
We knew that was coming.
It's tuition. Just give me what the tuition is. Don't tell me these fees,
Oh, the
that
college
fees.
fees and all the
it's
other
ridiculous.
crap.
Start making a bag
It's
lunch for her now,
ridiculous.
sending it over there.
That kid's
Bullshit.
coming home. She's coming home.
And you
All
know
right.
you know what we have to do a show on a future show
What?
about college is why the hell the cost goes up so much. All you have is a professor standing in front of a room. It's not like they're building rockets
How about this, my
and they gotta
friend?
pay for the fuel.
You don't have kids in college. How about
Not
when,
yet,
when
no.
my son went to Marist College and it was expensive? In the middle of the year, you get a call for a donation to the Marist Fund. What the frick?
Both of my kids are going to the Air Force
What?
Academy.
One
Well-
reason the textbooks are so expensive.
Thank you,
is because
Patty.
The professors don't get royalties the next year. That's why they have to write a new edition to get paid again. The publishers won't pay.
All right,
for it.
Patty, we're going to use this for one
Thank
of
you,
your
Patty.
segments one time. One of your
Yes.
boring
Like the
segments.
picture.
I mean, one of your
Still on the boom.
exciting
So on
segments.
9/9, I did the Father Judge walk. Father Judge was the chaplain of the FDNY who passed away. He was the first one that passed away on 9/11. They carried Father Judge to the local church, and then they brought him up to his church on 31st Street. It was a wonderful day. I was trying to think of something different to do for 9/11 this year. It was on 9/9. We walked from 32nd Street down to near the World Trade Center, stopping 13 times, and all different police and fire companies met us.
To urinate?
No, they met us. That would have been
Tell them
Pat would
why-
have stopped 26
tell them,
times.
Tell them why it starts on 32nd Street.
That's where his church was.
Right.
And we stopped 13 times with different fire and police, and they read who they lost from their stations or houses, and they read a prayer, and it was pretty cool. They read some of them read where the Pope said when he was down there. It was a really cool day. I really enjoyed it, even though it rained. It was good. Then on 9/11, Frank and I were invited. And I invited you last minute. I apologize for the last minute because I know you really would enjoy this.
I would have enjoyed
The
that.
calling of the names, which is a ceremony done at the church, Trinity Church, where a lot of the responders went for respite. Is that the right word, respite?
Respite, you're
Respite.
doing well today, John?
After 9/11, we went down there and we did the calling of the names. We read many people that were lost this year who were down on 9/11, whether it was a volunteer, worker, emergency responder, and they could die of any reason. Doesn't have to be 9/11
Who did
related.
we have on the show the week before that we had from the calling of the names?
That
Foundation?
Barbara Horn ran the
Barbara
calling of the names, and it was kind of funny because I needed to get out of there early because I had to drive Olivia back to Binghamton. So I said to Barbara, could you put me up in the beginning? Because there was about 35 readers reading about 16 names each. You already got the
That's all right.
captain
Well,
calling.
because it's 8:10 for him. We started late.
So anyway, they moved people around. I got all mixed up. So I was 9th now, and Frank was going to go home with us. So Frank was 10th. So they zipped down the line this way, and instead of starting the back line, I kind of cheated and started the other line this way. So I could leave, and Frank was behind me. The whole back line that was standing moved to the front seats. And now Frank went like from 11th to like 25th.
Oh boy.
So I had to wait for him anyway.
He's still there.
So it's like an open mic.
Hold on.
Hold on, Chief, are
We
you
have
on?
our guest. I'll introduce the guest.
Well, make sure it's Chief.
Is this Chief Todd Shawnee from the Lima, Ohio?
That was easy for you to say.
Yep. From Lima, Ohio.
Lima. They say
Lima.
Lima.
Yeah.
Chief, can you
Lima,
just listen
Lima.
to our
Whatever
can you
you wanna
listen
call
to our nonsense for a few minutes and then we'll get right to you?
Not a problem.
We won't be long. And then we did the St. Margaret's show, Patty and I. We went back home. Who says you can't go back,
home.
right? We did a show at our my old elementary school where Pat grew up. How many friends did you have there, by the way?
22.
22 friends saw him bomb. It was no,
Yeah.
Pat did
No, he killed.
He killed. There was a great show.
Yeah.
Everybody did
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Oliva did a guest spot. He showed
Maureen,
up.
Maureen was
I
fabulous.
invited him.
Maureen
Maureen-
Langan was fabulous.
I have to tell you, Maureen was fabulous, all right? But the comic that went up before her, who was that comic that went up before her?
I don't
Remember?
Wasn't you.
Mr. Santo.
Oh, Mr. Sano, right.
He knocked him dead.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Maureen
well,
even
that's-
said, do I have to follow him?
Maureen was very nice, but Maureen is Maureen. I have to take 2 puffs from my inhaler to watch her show.
Great
I have
job.
asthma.
Great job.
And it was cool driving
Great
around the neighborhood with you guys. 'Cause
It was-
you guys really know that
Yep,
neighborhood.
yep. That's where we grew up.
Can I also just say one?
Yeah,
Am
yeah,
I going
sure.
to talk about the week or
Well,
later? Or
I don't want to keep the chief on hold
All
too
right.
long.
We'll talk about my week after, but it's related to this. So Maureen
Go ahead.
had me on her show
Yes.
in San Francisco
Right.
as Mayor Bloomberg.
That's right.
Because Bloomberg is running for president. Now I do Trump and Bloomberg, so this
Right.
is comedy gold for me.
Oh, yeah.
If both of them are nominated, the debates.
Could you imagine that debate?
You could do both sides.
It's going to be so terrific. It's going to be the battle of the billionaires.
5,000
And
people.
I said that on the radio in San Francisco, which is a beautiful city.
It's
They didn't vote for me. That's okay.
Yeah, so that was
Patty,
a lot
will
of
you
I
fun.
told you when
Michael on
Bloomberg came to my firehouse and dropped the F-bomb like about 50 times.
Yeah, but he says,
He was trying to be
The
cool with the
F-bomb.
firemen, you know? And he was,
Was he
what's
hanging out
this
with
effing
Tony
ring?
F-bomb?
What's that effing ring?
So anyway, Limbrook, we had a meeting. We're
okay.
on Everything Special Needs
on in Limbrook?
at Angela's house, 2 special needs charities.
November 16th.
November 16th. We'll be showing the flyer in a little while.
Hey, what's this thing that we have on the stand?
That meeting, I'm going to show you that in a second. That's why the chief's on the phone.
Okay.
And then I went away to teach. I went out to Lima,
Lima?
Ohio.
Lima.
It's Jose Lima. That's Lima.
And I wasn't feeling good, Chief. Let's bring the Chief on. Chief Todd,
Welcome.
Yes.
how are you, buddy?
Welcome.
Good, John. How you doing, buddy?
Good. You guys treated us like gold out there. You were awesome, and bought us lunch every day. If it's free, it's
It's
for me.
I gotta buy it. I'm on a diet.
So the Chief bought us lunch every day. Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Chief. I wasn't there, but thank
Not
you.
a problem.
Thanks for feeding him.
Thanks for feeding me. And what was interesting is the Chief said, John, he pulled me aside and he's telling me about this memorial that they're going to build out there. And that day,
What?
they put up the sign for the memorial.
That sign?
That same day I was there.
Thermometer. I love these. This is such an effective way to show if you're reaching your goal. The
Yes.
thermometer
Yeah.
graph.
Chief, tell us a little bit about this memorial, why it's being built, and what's it all about.
Well, John, basically, I was approached about a year and a half ago from Jeff Rosenbrock. He's a master sergeant up at the 180th Firefighter Wing, Air National Guard up in Toledo.
Yes?
He was working that day of 9/11, and I'm sure they got a little busy up there at that time because we had Flight 93 coming over here in Ohio. And they up their base ended up putting a monument together up there with some artifacts
Uh-huh.
from 9/11, and he kind of brought the idea to Shawnee Township because we're really heavily into a lot of history with military production, We've had a lot of different industries there, and we still have the JSMC, which produces the M1A2 tanks.
Yes,
Greatest
you would
tank
have
in the
loved
world.
that. I
So
saw that.
That sits in our township.
Yes,
I love
we
tanks.
passed that.
I love tanks.
Yeah, no, it was cool.
So
That's
anyway,
heavy.
he come to us with this idea to do something similar because at the air base, it only opens up to the public on rare occasion. And he wanted to do something with JSMC, with the tank plant being right across the street and right next to our fire station. He come up with this idea to put a monument there and a memorial there, and it's kind of grown into something that's really been really neat. We've got this big, huge, sprawling granite wall with the depiction of times for each event from 9/11.
Right.
And we've got a really neat display along with stars that will be represented on this wall. In front of it, it will be showing there are 3-inch diameter stars, and they're color coordinated as compared to for the civilians, the firefighters, the military, and the police lost that day. So it's really kind of cool, and they'll be all put together with each event. But the other really cool thing is we've got a parking lot that'll be off the side in between our front pad at the fire station and going over to this monument, with some viewing benches and that, but we've got 3 artifacts from each place. We've already picked up our rock from Shanksville. When we picked that up, it was kind of cool. We didn't really realize it until we got home. The Department of Interior granted it to us for internment as long as we build a monument. And the rock is actually in the shape of Ohio. So it's actually from the crash site. It's really, really neat.
That's cool.
It was a great trip over. We documented all that. We've got a piece of steel from the trade centers, and then we're still waiting on the limestone to get access to the limestone, but I think that should be coming soon from the Pentagon. So all 3 of those will be displayed. But the really cool thing is, we've all, you guys experienced it firsthand, but we've all lived through it. But we want to make sure that our younger generation doesn't forget.
Well, Todd, can I
And
interrupt
we
you
come
one
up-
second?
Why in Ohio?
Can I-
Like, how far are they from
Well, this-
Shanks? Like, why is that? Why was that?
Well, here's the
spot?
deal. Here's what's so interesting. Here's what I find so interesting about it, Chief, is that
Yes.
you're building a monument here. Now, it didn't say anywhere on that monument, tell me if I'm wrong, you said you indicated with stars how many firemen were lost, but it's not really a fire department memorial. It is a memorial for educational purposes. So our kids, you don't have, every time I mess up a word, you don't. So
He's right there.
so he's right. It's not even out of my mouth yet. For our children to learn about the history. And that's why I said the same thing. Why in Lyman? But they're trying to get the kids as an educational thing to understand history.
Yes.
And that's what's so cool about it. Am I right, Chief?
That is exactly right. The other really cool thing, John, is we're going to put, if everybody's familiar with those QR codes, you can take a picture with your phone, and it'll activate a video, for a small short clip for each event, so that the
cool.
kids go through with the electronics.
That's cool.
They'll actually be able to pull up a short clip from each site, so they'll have a better understanding, and there'll be other information at the end, let them know a little bit more about the history. So everything's spelled out in timelines. Have you ever been to Shanksville yet?
No.
You know
we
what?
haven't been.
I was close.
Only on the golf course.
What's that?
Only on the golf course when I had the Shanks. It was Shanksville.
Boy. I gotta get
Well,
my
if you
own
ever get
show.
a chance to take a trip there, it's a beautiful monument. But it's something that we've been working on, and we're hoping we get to where we need to be. It's going to be a really beautiful representation, and
How far are
and
they
we want
from?
it, we want it to really turn out nice.
They're an hour from
Shanksville?
Dayton.
Yeah, but how
Ohio,
far in
Ohio.
Shanks?
North of Dayton,
Not close
on
to Dayton.
75, and an hour south of Toledo on
Yeah.
75. We're in
Yeah.
northwest Ohio.
How far is it?
An hour north of Dayton and an hour south of Toledo, right off I-75.
No, how far are you from Shanksville?
We gonna drive there?
Oh, from Shanksville, it's about a 4.5 to 5 hour drive.
Okay.
Uh,
Ohio borders Pennsylvania.
yeah, I knew
Right,
that.
Ohio borders Pennsylvania, but we're in the northwest.
Get a load
corner
of
of the
Rand
state.
I think
McNally.
that-
But depending on where you are in Ohio, that's
Chief,
When's Muriel
$400,000 needs to be raised supposedly for this monument. Where are you now?
We have some donations coming in. We just got our 501(c) up and running.
Okay.
We've got some donations coming in. We're trying to raise because we want to make sure that we're going to turn it over to Allen County, to our Parks Department, so they've got money to continue with the upkeep because
Nice.
they've got the landscaping and everything included. We're looking at about a $400,000 price tag on the whole thing. We are pushing out to our corporate partners in our area. We've got a lot of heavy industrial partners in our area. They're showing some serious interest in it, so we're just trying to get it moving forward.
All right.
We're trying to get it to where we can get it done.
Chief, so we're running a little behind. I appreciate you calling in. But as I said to you, in the office still stands. I think it'd be really cool if Laughter Saves Lives came out there, did a show. We'll bring Stevie Oliva, we'll bring Frank, we'll bring the whole team, but some New York City cops, some New York City firemen, making people laugh in memory of our guys and raising money for your monument. So that office still stands.
John, I appreciate that, and I love what you guys are doing. I hope more people check you out because I truly believe your guys, like you talk about, are looking down and laughing.
Yes, I hope
Now,
so.
if just 4 of our
I mean that.
viewers,
Thank you, Chief.
Especially
donate
after watching this
100,000
interview,
each,
they are.
That would be
just
$400,000.
4 viewers donate 100,000 each, they could pay for the money.
See, Chief, this is why I have John Santo on the show. He just did the math, and he said if 4 people donate 100,000, you can raise your 400,000.
Like that.
Yeah,
He
it
did
would
the
be
ma-
done that quick. That's
He did the
exactly
math like that. Chief, thanks for calling in. Please be safe out there, and we'll talk soon.
Johnny, you stay safe, brother.
Thank you, brother.
All right, take care.
So that was Chief Todd, Chief Todd,
Teeth shot, yeah.
Chief Todd,
The real deal.
Truesdale.
Teeth shot.
So what we're gonna do now is
What are we doing now?
professionalism here, young man. We are going to show our next guests are going to be Danielle Siegel and Marianne Cuozo. Marianne, how do you pronounce your maiden name? Duquette. I should know that. I should have showed it to you because you would know.
I would know.
Marianne Duquette Cuozo and Danielle Siegel. We're going to show their intro video, and then we're going to switch around up here and come right back. We'll be back.
Art is definitely a form of expression, and art is something that I've met a lot of people who are not necessarily artists who have gone through cancer, but have explored and expressed themselves through some form of art, and they cannot believe how cathartic that art can be. Since having breast cancer, it wasn't just so much cancer anymore, believe it or not. I had reconstruction that failed. I leaned towards my art during my battles with cancer as an answer to just not being alone. It was kind of something I went into my studio and drew very heavy artwork, very large charcoals. It was meant for me to get that anger out in a way that I could.
You getting this? Just don't say what we're talking.
Being a mother, it's different in the sense of you want to be there forever for your child, obviously, and you want to show strength in your, battle. And my son, he often says that this is my mission. Several of my cancers, my scars are my journey, my map. And often I have done a lot of photographs of painting my body and then showing how I'm stitched up, and I say how I'm piece whole. I often say that I am beautiful and beautiful as far as being this is the package and that this is the new me, and I'm thankful.
And we're back with Laughter Saves Lives Live. Back with the team, and we have 2 lovely ladies joining us now. Always nice to have some ladies on the set instead of the chooches, as we call them, right? We're missing. We didn't say that we're missing 2 chooches tonight. Frank,
Two chooches.
Frank's doing a movie, and
We had
Steve.
Teeth shot on today. And,
Teeth shot.
Steve Oliva's missing. And
We have-
Frank Failure is missing.
Danielle Siegel's here, and Marianne Duquette Cuozo.
Let's talk about who is here.
That's very impressive. You pronounced
good.
all those
Welcome,
names right.
ladies. Welcome, ladies. So, this I can't thank you guys enough for coming. And if you don't mind me saying, especially, we love having you here. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm talking about. I know this lady over here for 18 years. 18 years. Our kids grew up together. They were supposed to get married, Olivia and her son. was arranged in nursery school.
And it didn't happen?
Didn't happen yet. She's dating somebody, but we're trying to.
He's waiting.
Yeah, he's waiting. He's waiting until she smartens up. So, reading your story, this is the time that I knew you.
Yes.
And knowing what you went through when I knew you, and I knew you were going through some things, I am almost embarrassed that I didn't reach out to you sooner and see if you need. But it's just, and this is one of the reasons you're here, because I think a lot of people, when somebody's going through something tragic, people like, I don't know what to say, so let me say nothing. And that's the worst thing. That is the worst thing. So, thank you for being here. Tell us a little bit of your story.
I was diagnosed when I was 28, and I was just married. And it's before I had Leo, obviously.
Right.
And I had Hodgkin's lymphoma, and back then, we're talking 24 years ago, they did radiation, and it was
Right.
medieval. They would give
Radiation back then was different than it is now.
100% different. So they did mantle radiation. They found a grapefruit-sized mass in my chest. So they irradiated my chest. And then I had a reoccurrence when I was 32. And at this point, I was told I couldn't have kids. There was not even a chance to have a kid. So here I am, just married. I have to tell my husband, not only do I have cancer, but we can't have kids.
Can't have children. Wow.
So then I had the reoccurrence, and with the reoccurrence, I ended up having chemotherapy. And then after I had the chemotherapy, I met this new staff of doctors, and that were a little bit more very proactive with me, and a little bit more out of the medieval aspect of my cancer. They said, why don't you try to have a kid? And I did, and it worked. So, and he's 18.
And he's the light of your life, my dear.
He's my miracle. He's my miracle.
I know, and he just left for college.
Yes,
So
so, we're not even go there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So then after, 2014 came around, and they always kind of told me that I was going to have some other kind of issue
Right.
because of this radiation that I had
Initially.
and I was not prepared, but you're prepared to so much, and I knew I found a lump, and it ended up not being what they thought was cancerous, and then I went to go get a mammo, sono, and then eventually the same day they gave me a core biopsy, and the core biopsy said it was cancer. And it was cancer from the radiation that they gave me 24 years ago. So, and apparently there's a group of us, who I met through Facebook, there's a group of us that have the same
situation.
MO. And I ended up having reconstruction, double mastectomy with reconstruction, so I had implants put in.
Right.
And I went through more chemotherapy, so it was another second round of chemotherapy, losing my hair, doing the whole thing twice. Then the implants infected. One got infected, another, and I was in the hospital more with the infection than I was with the cancer. And it was scarier with the infection because it went septic.
Right.
And that's like,
Yeah.
they're watching and waiting for me to, if I can make it.
Right,
thing.
right.
So I had 6 of these infections.
Oh, God.
At various times? Or
Various
all at once?
times. Every month I would get another infection,
Oh,
be
my
in the
God.
hospital. I was at Sloan Kettering, I'd be at the hospital.
And what they do for the infections? They just.
Well, the thing that ended up happening was because I was radiated, and I had the implant, sorry, I just hit the mic.
Yeah.
So since I was radiated and I had the implant was fake, there was no area for the blood flow to go from this dead skin, let's say, and
Right.
the implant. So the antibiotic could never get in there, so it never went away. The infection never went away. So they would have a tube up in me to get to this spot, and it never went away. And last year, I finally went and I found another lump, and they realized it was an encapsulated infection for 2 years. I
Oh,
had
man.
on my bone.
Right.
So I just had that taken out. So I'm cancer-free, but I ended up having to take my implants out, and I wasn't able to, because other ways of doing, they make breasts out of your butt, your belly,
Right.
and they can, but since my body rejected it so often with infections, they said, no, it's not even an opportunity. So I'm flat, and I am it's a big, different way of being, because it's not, there's a bunch of us, I've met a bunch of women that are flat,
Right.
and I just have scars straight across. But it's now a whole body image thing. It's not about the cancer anymore. It's all about the body image.
Right.
And it's about being happy in this new body and making it not a stigma, that this is something so odd.
But how now? I've watched the videos. We're going to show another video in a little while, and I sent them to you guys. I don't know if you watched them, but how do you get to a point where you say, you know what, I want everybody. Why would you get to that point where you say, I want everybody to see this?
Well,
I mean, I read it, I understand, but
Yeah.
I want
Well,
you to.
I think it came from just because it was. I was on this video. It was called Wisdo, and it's online. And it was this thing about. It was a little bit too soon after my surgery, and I was flat. But I had met these other flat women through other organizations, through online social media, and then even with this Breast in the Sea project, which I really would love to have on here one day for you.
Okay.
To show. They just embraced this new body image of women who have one breast, no breasts, two reconstruction, or botched this, botched that, because there's a lot of that. And these women it just became this thing where it was about body image. The cancer and the loss is nothing I can even explain.
No.
But it's now all of a sudden it's like, all right, now I have this, I have
Of
nothing.
course,
So
of course.
I had beautiful breasts and I love them, and
Right.
they breastfed for my child forever,
Yeah.
And now they're gone. And now how do you feel comfortable in this new body? And it was one photograph shared, and then it just escalated where everyone started seeing these photos, and it healed me in a lot of ways, and I was healing these women. So it became this whole. It blossomed.
It's amazing.
It blossomed.
The courage, the bravery. When I read the whole story, and I'm like, I know brave people, I know firemen, but what you did and what you continue to do is so brave. And I was thinking with the Chooches here, right? I said maybe I should have a female on, and then I said no. I said this is who we are, and this is part of the people that you're reaching out to. Why didn't
yes.
I come to you sooner and go, hey, can I help? Because I was uncomfortable. These are the people, not only females, but also men to understand,
Right.
And
that's a big thing, because I noticed that when I did I've done a lot of interviews recently in my past couple of years, and a lot of men were there, and a lot of men off camera would say, well, I don't really understand what you did, and could you explain it to me? Because
Right.
I want to be open-minded about this, because it is I've never met anyone like you. So that was what it became. It was like, I never met anyone like you. And believe me, when it first happened to me, I never met anyone like me either. You know what I mean? I never heard of this.
Yeah.
And it was like I met one person, two person, then through social media, I met a ton of women. And they're now really proud of being, and it's a little different. They've become this real unit of, they call themselves flatties, and we're on, they've been on New York Times and CBS and NBC, and there's a ton of stuff that we're showing. There was a flat person with, bared her scars on the front page of the New York Times.
Yeah.
That's
Amazing.
huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
No.
It's supposed to be me, but that's all right.
So, on the laughter side of it, I know, you don't have to tell me you've had some miserable days and some depressing days and all that stuff. What have you done to try to lighten it up a little bit to get yourself through some days?
Well, I'm an artist, and with my artwork, I think that's where I make it the lightest. I know how.
Show me your shirt.
Yes.
And what did you say to me before?
I got a nice pair. Don't
She's
I?
got a nice pair. And that's because that's the kind of thing that'll break the ice.
You get it?
I got underwear that say that.
Yeah, nobody believes it.
Yeah, it says it on the rear though. It says on the rear. Yeah, and that's the kind of thing that will break the ice to open up people to understand.
Yes.
I
always say I do my artwork with a bit of whimsy. Like everything's whimsical. I do artwork that's very heavy, but I really like when people catch on to my work that's kind of like show other women, and they're sitting in trees. It's whimsical. It's light. It's my therapy.
But the artwork that you did initially
was angry.
And you threw all of that out.
Didn't throw it out. Threw it under the bed.
You still have it?
I have it all.
Okay.
They're huge, angry charcoals. I was 28 years old. I was by myself. I didn't have the internet. I knew nothing about cancer. Everyone was 60 or 70 years.
Sure.
And I knew nobody who was going through what I was going
That's
through.
angry. That would be angry.
And it was harder to research back then.
I had a
And there were
book.
fewer options, right?
I had a book.
That's it, yeah.
I'm not aging myself, but I had a book to look it up. I didn't have the internet. You had dial-up.
Hey, Ryan, can you show those 3 pictures? I only put 3 of our art pictures on here. I'm sorry. You want to describe these one at a time? Is there any description?
Yes, it's my dear friend.
What is this here?
I do a lot of these images of women with bird cages. The bird
Right.
cage represents my sexuality.
Okay.
The birds are my breasts. So the birds are either out of the cage, in the cage. I'm either in the bird cage, outside the bird cage. It's just my way of expressing. There's a lot of questions about feeling sexual. Your hormones are all screwed up with not having breast or being pumped with estrogen or not taken with estrogen or whatever. So your hormones are really messed up. So your sexuality is like nothing like it once was. So there's a lot of questions.
And the second one, Ryan?
Same thing. These are, this is these obscure ones. This is,
I don't know. These are the ones that struck
John's
me. I'm
very
sorry.
obscure, so
I'm
that's why
sorry.
he picked
like,
them.
where'd you find them? Like, you gotta like really go.
The next
But
one
this-
is David Wright, so you're gonna have to explain that because I don't know why I
We
picked
have the
that.
best staff here.
But
research.
no, it's fine. It's so fine. It's so. But I mean, I do a lot of mermaids, and a lot of my hearts are my at the end of string, which is a big thing that I use throughout my, and it's just my forever. I look at my hope. It's my string of hope, and I have my heart. Oh, again, I did that.
That's okay.
And this is
have you done?
several, and the kiss. This. For,
Yeah, let's see the next one, Ryan.
For NBC.
Yeah, when it's on the right, that's what they're saying.
Okay.
There we go.
This is a new thing that they're doing. Where they kiss this for NBC, and NBC is metastatic breast cancer.
Okay.
Which is they're doing a hashtag, and it's a new thing that's coming out. It's been done. It's doing it again, but metastatic breast cancer is something extremely important in the fact that it is the cancer that is not researched enough, and it's stage 4, and that's when women die.
Can you repeat the name of that so our audience
It's
can hear that?
well, it's the kiss hashtag kiss this for NBC. There's a lot. I'm wearing a sleeve right now that it's another. I have lymphedema. I have a sleeve. The money goes to Medivivor. Medivivor, Cancerland. There are several different organizations that do research and awareness, not just pink, but awareness
Right.
to metastatic breast cancer. Because stage 1, 2, and 3, you don't die from it.
Right.
You die from stage 4
Okay.
when it goes to the bones and it goes to the brain, and they don't have enough research. So we're
For
really
that
trying,
stage
and
4.
these women are not finding, they're young women who are even finding out that they have metastatic before they'll go for mammography and nothing shows up.
Right.
They need to get the research.
Do we have a question for Marianne? Is somebody on the line?
I have a
Just
question.
keep,
What was
just
it?
keep
Say it
going.
again.
Oh, go ahead, Pat.
One sec, let me just answer the call then. Laughter Saves Lives Live. Somebody on the line?
Hi.
Hi. Hold on 1 second, Pat.
No, you can take the call.
You sure?
Take the
All right,
questions,
caller, you
already
have a
boring.
question for Marianne?
I just really love your guests.
We do too.
What about the host? Do you love the host?
You should have said, oh,
Santa.
hi.
Is that it? You just love our guests? That's all?
You guys look like a bunch of gobbones.
There we go. Well, now that we take that as a compliment. That's how much
really
of gavones
sweet.
we are. Thank
You
you.
look like you should be in the witness protection program.
Yes, we should be.
What the heck is that?
I don't know. We get one of your
Stereotypical thing is
friends
that
calling.
What's her
Do
background?
you
What's her
do you have a question for Marianne?
She's Italian too?
All right. Well, thank you for calling and abusing us. We appreciate it.
We have to go to commercial.
You have any question about breasts today?
Let's talk. Now, how did you meet this young lady? And then we'll show the video.
Yes.
The caller?
Her dad and I are very good
Danielle.
friends.
Okay.
Yeah, and her dad, he was with me for a lot of my treatments that I went through, and very, very made it fun for me to go through my treatments as best he could. And then I met Danielle, and about 1.5 years ago, we did a small little film while she was going through to school.
She went to Hofstra, right, Danielle?
Yes. And we did about
That's
my
all you're
art
going to say. That's it. You're done. I went to
Yeah.
Hofstra.
Thanks for
I was
coming
on
on
a
the
show
show.
for an hour, and all they let me say was, I went to Hofstra.
Yeah, and I owe them a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, I know. I can imagine. So you met Danielle.
And we did a short art as therapy through my cancer, and it was wonderful, but it was a small little thing. And then we got together a couple months ago, and we put together this phenomenal.
So this
I'm
phenomenal
beaming
girl.
over this
Yes.
because it's such
It
a
is.
great.
Before we
Great.
show the video, Danielle, what made you, as this young girl, say, this is something that I want to do?
Let's see. So we did it about 1.5 years ago, and it was only a 3-minute piece. And
But why did you do that? It was project for school, or?
project for school, but not only that. I guess as a filmmaker and a TV person, you could always write a comedy sketch.
Right.
You could always make a drama, but you never could really touch another person's life. So I was like, you know what, let me take it another route. So I chose Marianne, we focused on her art. And then this year I had documentary film, and it was like my senior thesis project. So I was like, you know what, let's dive deep, let's get your whole story, and let's let people know what it's like, and that, you know, someone sitting in the hospital could see it and be like, wow, like, I'm gonna be okay. So that was it.
You did a great job. You're a special young lady. Can we show that film, Orion? This is an hour.
I am Marianne Duquette Cuozzo. I am an artist, a mother, a 3-time cancer survivor, and a dreamer. Art is definitely a form of expression, and art is something that I've met a lot of people who are not necessarily artists, who have gone through cancer, who are not artists, but have explored and expressed themselves through some form of art, and they cannot believe how cathartic that art can be. This is another one I like. The background is of it's called Caran d'Ache. It's a type of crayon that is watercolor. And I did this actually when I was breastfeeding my son. I couldn't get to paintbrushes, and I took his baby wipes and I started using it and made these watercolor images. So I did this when he was breastfeeding, which is very interesting, having this now be my journey without breasts.
Okay, that was...
You getting this? Just don't say what we're talking about.
Being a mother, it's different in the sense of you want to be there forever for your child, obviously, and you want to show strength in your, battle. And my son, he often says that this is my mission.
The reason I think this is my mom's mission for what she's doing is that she's very resilient in what she's doing, and that she's turning this whole situation around into something that she can use. So it's like an opportunity that she's using. And this opportunity is allowing her to express herself more. And expressing herself is showing to others. And I feel like her conveying her story to other people allows them to see what she's gone through, and that they can get through it too.
I leaned towards my art during my battles with cancer as an answer to just not being alone. It was kind of something I went to into my studio, and it was, I didn't have people to talk to about it. I was very young. I didn't know anybody else who had cancer. And I went into my room, my studio, and I just drew very heavy artwork, very large charcoals that I immediately would roll up and throw under the couch, and not to be seen, and not to be seen by anybody. It was meant for me to get that anger out in a way that I could. I was at Sloan Kettering for a little over a week one time, and another time 2 weeks. And my family would bring stuff to me because they knew exactly what I'd be wanting, and they knew that I'd want to be drawing and creating, and I could. And I did a bunch of art pieces, and it was wonderful because then even Sloan Kettering was having an art show, and I was able to print my work, and I had friends come in and bring me frames, and I was actually able to submit work while I was in the hospital at an art show at Sloan Kettering. It was spectacular. Since having breast cancer, it wasn't just so much cancer anymore, believe it or not. I had reconstruction that failed, and then I ended up I had a double mastectomy and reconstruction where I had implants, and the implants failed after 5 infections.
I'm gonna go to my best friend's house, and
Mia is my best friend, and she is an art therapist. She's lovingly and professionally and beautifully taken pictures of me throughout my breast cancer. She has taken pictures of me when I was just about to get rid of having a double mastectomy, and she took these beautiful photos of me right before I lost them. Throughout my journey of breast cancer, several of my cancers, my scars are my journey, my map. And often I have done a lot of photographs of painting my body and then showing how I am stitched up, and I say how I'm piece whole. I draw the stitches, I exaggerate them, and I often want to show myself stitching myself. And then I have a string with a heart, and it's in my artwork as well, and it's my forever present hope. And doing these images that I do on my actual drawings, I've interpreted and put it on my body, and vice versa.
She is the subject for the art right now. So she painted on herself, so she's her own canvas, and she has become the subject for my art. I want her to feel beautiful, because she is beautiful. And I think because she becomes an art piece, that in turn will hopefully empower her and make her feel beautiful after she sees the photographs complete.
Through all my stages, when I had my breasts, when I had one breast, and now without them, it's just a continuation of something that I'm growing. And each time I get these pictures from her, these beautiful images, I've learned from them, I've grown from them, and I appreciate them. And I cry. I often say that I am beautiful and beautiful as far as being, this is the package and that this is the new me, and I'm thankful. Through social media, I met a bunch of women going through the same thing I'm going through, and I started drawing them and enjoying their journeys, and my journeys were similar, and I just started drawing 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, and it just kept going, and I did it very whimsical, and I'd send it to them, and you know, they just were delighted that they got to see how I saw them, and it just gave joy, and it's been continuing that, and I've been doing that a lot with a lot of my artwork, and they've inspired me, I've inspired them. I feel like the future has a lot of great opportunities for me, and I'm looking forward to those opportunities, and I have a focus now, and I feel really proud and privileged to have had this journey, and I think my sharing this is going to do something that's really powerful.
Laughter saves
Didn't that say
lives
the
live.
Gagoots family?
Oh, that's cool.
Let's just, guys, for Danielle, number one, for putting together a beautiful video.
Great job,
And
Danielle.
for Marianne, for our brave and wonderful and beautiful guest here, for doing that video. That was not easy, and I give you a lot of credit. Very brave. So let's hear it for Marianne. Marianne, you've probably been one of the most powerful guests I'd say we have on the show. We're not all about laughs, and but we like to laugh. We like to laugh, and we like to use laughter as a way to heal. And for you to, like I said,
Speaking of laughter,
I asked
didn't
Danielle,
anything.
have you ever watched our show? And she said yes. And I said, you're still coming on? So we appreciate you coming on and laughing with us.
We
and,
should give her like an
and doing
autograph
that.
or something.
I think
She's
you
a
might want
fan.
mine.
Laughter Saves Lives Live. You're on the air. Who's our caller? Hello, caller. Caller, you're on the air.
I go to the next caller.
I don't think we have a next caller.
Right, I had a question.
It's Miriam.
Hey, Pat had a
Oh,
question.
I wish the caller was on.
Marianne, if 2 years down the road they came to you and said, we can give you breasts free of infection and everything, would you do it? Or, I mean, you've been such a powerful example to women that can. Would you?
No,
You wouldn't do it. Okay.
You would or you wouldn't do it?
wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
Because of your experience?
No, he's saying if it was infection free.
Right.
Right.
Pop 'em
In
on,
a perfect
right.
I
world.
think that you would go back on your word, I guess.
It's going, but I've gone so far like this now,
Right.
and I'm really trying to figure this out, and I will figure it out.
Right.
It's, I'm going to figure it out. No, I don't think breast would be the answer, but I understand that, and there is somebody that oddly is doing that right now. She's been flat for a very long time. And
Right.
She decided, and she's getting a lot of slack for it because she was representing herself a certain
Right.
way. That's her own thing.
That's right.
That's her
Yeah.
own
So,
business.
so Patty, if I was
Business.
you, I wouldn't get that penal implant.
Not going to work.
Did you have? You just had to go. I was waiting. I was going to
were
see
way
how
up
long before he gets to the penis.
We were, they're not.
Daniel's father's watching, by the way.
Viewers, we just
We had such a strong
We
show.
did.
Wow.
We did. Look at what they're saying on there.
Get 'em
Chooches
out of the way.
again. You
Oh,
once a
great.
chooch,
You're
always
totally
a chooch.
good. Totally.
All right, so,
no, very bad.
She's got some art she wants to show too.
Marianne, you wouldn't regardless.
No.
Okay. All right.
That's a very interesting answer.
Yeah.
Very good question.
Yeah.
Because I recently thought about that because of what I found out recently, and I was like, I really gave it a lot of thought, and I was like, I don't know how I could do it because then I wouldn't be true to what I'm doing right now. I'm
Right,
really
right.
trying to be true to this.
Call the police.
But I
stand
think
by.
I think either way, your true friends would be supportive, and
course.
you know what I mean. And
Yes.
Well, how many people women have you inspired and
Right.
been, kind of.
And vice versa. I've been inspired by
Okay.
a
All
ton
right.
of women.
Hey, that's
so.
a.
Laughter Saves Lives. You're on the air.
Hey, great show.
Oh, thank you,
Steve
sir.
Oliva. Thanks for calling, Steve.
Steve, you have a question for Marianne or Danielle?
Oh yeah. I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't have Facebook, but men are susceptible to this as well, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
What
I
is
mean, I know it's not as
Men-
prevalent. but-
Men are susceptible to
Breast cancer for sure. There's a group of men that are part of a lot of this, and they're metastatic, and I've met them, and they're
Oh, really?
going through absolutely.
Yeah, my cousin.
I've heard of
my
it.
cousin had it. Yeah.
And it's also that's a stigma for a man.
Yeah.
In a
Oh,
very
yeah.
different.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not the same, but it's a big stigma because it's more of something that perhaps that they're embarrassed to say that they have,
You're right. Exactly.
and it's something that needs to be
That's
totally.
a good point, Steve. That was a good
Thank
point.
you.
Steve's one of our co-hosts.
That's unusual for him to have
Oh,
a
we
good
took
point.
his seat today?
Yeah.
What's
Well,
that?
thank
Take
you.
your seat
I mean, I
Thank
you.
think that you have a wonderful guest, and I apologize that you're sitting with three uneducated cretins.
Excuse me, I'm sitting here. Pat's on the other mic. Pat's not sitting over here.
Who's over there, Pat?
Pat's
Patty-
on the mic. Yeah.
Patty G's on the mic.
Oh, where's Pat Morrell?
I'm right
He's
next
right
to
here,
LaRocchia.
Yeah, I took the mic into the bathroom accidentally.
Well, Steve, thank you so much
Thanks for calling. We gotta do a
taking the
commercial,
time to
'cause-
call in.
Yes, get
They're
it.
going to cancel.
We'll see you
All
next
right,
week.
All right.
Have a good
Thank you.
night, Steve.
You
Give
guys-
us our commercial quick.
MCN
All the
Duck
best.
Cleaning cleans ducks, and we don't have the formal commercial. Google them.
Oh, shoot.
Google.
I didn't bring the commercial.
I don't have the phone number. I don't have the website.
Matt from MCN.
Speaking of cretins,
So let
John.
me just wing it. MC Duck Cleaning is the best duck cleaning.
Yes.
MCN
Call,
Duck Cleaning.
call Matt at MCN.
Call
He's a
Matt.
great guy. Or call us.
You got his
We'll get
number?
you, Matt. We'll get you
Google
the
it.
number.
No, Google
We'll
it.
get you the number. Matt's a
Google it,
great
you
guy.
lazy people.
He's coming to the gala. Oh, can we show those quick flyers for
Patty,
the
look
upcoming shows?
up MCM, put it
Look
on the
up
Facebook
MCM.
and live
We're just going to go quick over our flyers, ladies, all right?
Okay.
Friday, October 7th. Oh, you're going to put one at a time on the screen, make it big so I can read it. October 17th, we're doing a show in Jersey.
It's October 12th.
Is that 12th? That's why I said I can't read it.
October 12th.
Yeah, you read it. Go.
It's October 12th.
Oh, there it is.
Morganville Volunteer Fire Department in Morganville, New Jersey.
We got Stacy Kendall.
LaughterSavesLives.org has all the information. Pat Marone is on the show. Stacy Kendra. Chris, wow, what a show.
Good show.
Chris Monty, John LaRocchia.
Chris Monty, John LaRocchia,
Wow.
Stacy Kendro.
Very good.
What's on the next show? Next show. That's for Morganville Fire Department.
This one is
Baldwin.
You got Bob DeBono.
Bob
John
DeBono.
Consoli.
Excuse me, Bob DeBono in an upcoming episode of what? Murphy Brown. Bob DeBono's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
But
And he
he's out
does
of
a
left.
great Trump impersonation.
Great, best I've ever heard. You have John Consoli and Jamie Gravy on that show from Texas. Next flyer.
A show I was gonna do, but I'm now gonna not do it.
Why? Why you not?
Thursday,
Oh,
October 18th.
He's got a Rick Morgan show.
No. I put him on another show, a bigger show.
Bigger show, huge show.
Not a big.
Yeah, this is with John LaRocchia, Frank, John, it's me, John Santo, doing a very awesome Trump
Frank
impression.
Fiella is off the
And
show.
Claudia Stavola. She's
ahead.
off the show?
Yeah, he's fired.
He's fired.
He's
fired.
He started doing
Done
Trump impression. Fired.
Fired.
Next, last flyer, the big one.
The gala.
Laughter Saves Lives, almost gala in memory of my mom. October 19th at the American Legion in Babylon. 1920s theme. We're honoring the vets that went down in the helicopter crash from the 106.
For the 100th time.
2 FDNY guys. It's going to be a great night. We have 4 really good comics, and
We had
And
3
Pat.
really good comics from Patty G.
And you got Pat.
we got Pat.
And you got Pat.
And we have one more flyer.
One more fly. November
Everything special needs, the
16th.
one I spoke about.
This is the one in
Angela's
Lynbrook,
house.
for Angela's house.
2
right.
special needs charities. We have other comics on the show. Any of you guys on the show? Did I put you on the show?
No, you didn't
I
put
don't
us
know.
on the
You
show.
could- you
It's
can.
amazing.
You didn't
Patty
say
G, did I put you on the show?
You didn't say anything.
Yeah, you won't be on the show.
Okay.
Is that the last? No, you might
That's
be
the
on the
last
show.
I think I might have a show that day.
All right, let's get back to our guests here.
Yeah,
Thank you for that. So, Danielle,
Look at us. We look so big now on there.
Danielle,
Isn't that-
what do you think of this
We're
lady?
huge.
Oh, we're gonna get mushy.
I guess so. I don't know, I think she's a great inspiration for women. You know, as a girl myself, you know, this is the worst fear is to get breast cancer, but she made it so positive, and she's had quite the ride, but she's at the end of the tunnel now.
She has had quite the ride, and
Living it.
I don't know if I would be. And again, like I said before, I know every day you're not like this, and I know you had your crap days and
Had
all
it
that.
before this. I was like moody before I had cancer. so
Right,
it's just the way
right.
you are.
Well, I was going to say that.
I
I think
admire
she has,
your courage.
I think
really
she has
do.
some
It's
artwork
great.
to
Yes.
show us.
You want to show us some of your artwork there?
Sure.
Can I do it?
Sure.
Exhibit A.
Oh, you're holding it?
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh,
who is- oh.
So that's when I was talking about that I do a lot of stitching, and I do a lot of drawing myself, stitching myself.
Right.
I had painted myself in the documentary, and then I did it as well. So I do a lot of themed things like that. And then I have like some of my girlfriends who I met that
hold it. Very
have
good, Pat.
influenced me.
I'll put it in front of John.
The camera's right there, Joe.
It's the middle camera.
Patrick, the camera's
There you go.
There you go.
And these are other women that were very influential to me. This is Beth
Can we use a first name?
Fairchild.
Can we use a first name?
Well, Beth, and
Beth?
Beth and I will say that she is part of Mediviver, and she is one of the big person in Mediviver that is, she's metastatic breast cancer, and she has, so she's working hard with a lot of people to make the awareness that it so much deserves. And Debbie Sue is one of my good friends she was the first
Was she the
person
one
I-
that was in the video?
Yes.
That's
she
the
was in
one.
the video.
That's the one you were talking
That's
about.
the one I think looks
Yes.
like the woman from Just Shoot Me.
It doesn't
Laura
look anything
Sandra
like her.
Giacomo.
Doesn't look anything like her.
Yeah.
No.
She's the first woman, one of the first women I met that was flat.
Just Shoot Me. The
Nobody knows
sitcom,
what
Just
Pat's
Shoot Me.
talking about. We don't
Thanks.
really,
You know,
You never saw that sitcom?
No.
Oh, well, we're old.
And so
I don't
like,
think
you know,
Danielle probably. Do you know Just Shoot Me?
No, but I feel that way right now.
Hey, come on, everybody. Go ahead.
We still
Yeah.
have 5 minutes.
Don't
still got 5 minutes. What are you
don't
gonna
laugh
do?
harder at her jokes than you did at ours.
Ours are funny.
Well, they're a
I like
team. They're a
it.
team.
Danielle's back. She's back after that one. She got one
We'll
shot
have
in.
Danielle back.
What is this?
and then
Well, he's showing something she wasn't showing.
no, it doesn't matter. It's
What a mama
these are
wolf.
all my friends,
Right.
and these are all women that I've been so blessed to know. And through online and social media, I've met some, and I haven't met some yet. And I was so honored to draw them, and they were my therapy, to draw them, and then giving them this artwork has been therapeutic for them.
Very
And
good.
it's very meaningful because a lot of these women had asked me, and I get commissions, but some women just have asked me, said, "Can you just draw a picture of me because I need to see what you see that I look like.
That's interesting.
And it's a
Marianne,
beautiful moment.
Before we go, the group that you're involved with, is there a name, maybe women who are
Website
flat,
or name?
maybe
Well, it's all
wanna
on
need
social
support?
media. There's it's called My Flat Friends is one of them, and Flat and Fabulous is another one. There's a lot of I really want to push the metastatic breast cancer awareness. It's a big thing that I really want to end. My girlfriend who has this Breast in the Sea project that she's doing, and I know I'm forgetting tons of them.
Right, that always
But
happens.
you know, one of the things that I did with Danielle was showing how much art is therapy, and that therapy is art. And it's not just because I can draw, because I'm an artist and I draw.
Right.
But people who can't draw, how they can develop therapeutic needs, and it's not just
And this
art.
one's an artist too.
Yes,
right?
absolutely,
You know,
100%.
That was a
Different types.
different form of art.
And I was just going to say, it's not just it's music, it's dance, it's anything. If you could therapeutically, heal yourself. But my, having doing these drawings and then give them to somebody means a lot to that person. But then what I get back is it's reciprocal.
Do you have a web page with all your drawings on it?
I do.
Put it out there.
You want to tell us, ladies?
It's www.marianneduquettequozo.com. It's one long word.
Spell that
You
out
want
for
to
them.
spell that
Really?
last? Please spell that last
Or-
name
or
for
we
them.
could type it in- I
And
could type it
Marianne
into
can
the
be spelled
comments.
50 different ways.
Yes,
so
I can.
give us the whole
How do you do it? How do you say it?
Marianne.
M-A-R.
Oh my God, he's worse than LaRue.
What the
Shut
heck?
up, I took typing in high school.
Duquette, D-U-Q-U.
Danielle doesn't even know what a typewriter is.
Yep.
Let her get it out.
E-T-T-E.
Right?
I've seen them.
C-U-O. Z-Z-O.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
I
What
think
a name.
You ever think about getting like an abbreviated?
an
I'm kidding.
inspiration, Marianne, for you to come here, for you to be on the show.
Now it's on our show conference.
And I know you a long time, and
Terrific. Yeah, really.
this was
Yeah,
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we'll be back next week. What do we have on next week? I don't know. I never.
Next week we're going to talk about the NBC show Manifest.
Well, not only that.
What?
We are. Not only
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
Patty G has been holding a segment now for 5 weeks because
on
we're going to
six.
make
Yeah,
it
he's got a
bigger.
segment on Pocket Pool.
watch. No,
And,
tell them your segment. They're going to tune in when they hear this.
The segment is on the history of the diner, which we go to after every
After
show.
every show, we go to the Massapequa
Massapequa
Diner.
Diner.
I go there at 3 a.m.
Huge,
You will be
huge show.
amazed at the history of the diner if they'll let me talk.
Several diners,
Yes.
not just that diner.
No,
No,
the
no,
history
the
of
diner
the
of the
diner.
history.
The
The
diner.
diner.
The diner in general.
And
The
next
diner
row-
in general. Very powerful piece.
I
Not
do
the
these, I do
Massapequa
these
Diner.
like
Like
pub human interest pieces,
if you have
but they
trouble
never let me talk.
sleeping, tune
Watch
into
them.
Pat's.
Do you tell us
So-
where eggs were invented
We
and
did
home
one
fries?
on pinatas, that was
They were
riveting.
great. So
All
next,
right.
wait. Next week we're going to talk about that NBC show Manifest.
We have
Yes,
2
we
minutes.
are.
Because that plane goes 5.5 years into the future.
Right.
They thought it was missing.
Right.
And if you didn't see it
Didn't.
last night, watch it.
Okay.
Terrific. And
Terrific
then we'll
show.
talk about it next week.
Sounds good. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Laughter Saves Lives. Where are we going? We're going to the Massapequa Diner. Good night, everybody.
By MCN Duckley.
Old leather gloves,
He's so proud of himself.
slapping in hams,
Ladies.
popcorn and peanuts. We're working the stems, pink cotton candy, love on a stick. He's chasing the beer, the circle the lips, play ball, play ball. Load up the bases and smack it right over the wall. Play ball. Play ball. Take off the caps. Time for the song.